Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today is going to be the very last foundation review of all the many foundation reviews that I've been doing in the last month or so. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're new here or if you missed the last few videos, I recently did a Sephora haul where I got 5 brand new foundations. I got the Rare Beauty foundation, which I know came out in 2020, but the rest had just launched this year. I've been doing dedicated videos, as some of you have requested, and just to show you how it applies, does it meet the claims? We're gonna do wear tests. We do 2 days of testing. And today we're gonna be talking about the Shiseido Sychro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. So this guy, I don't know if it looks familiar to you, but if you've watched my channel, I absolutely love the Shiseido Sychro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. It looks very similar packaging wise. The only difference is, as you can see, this glass is very shiny. That glass is a more frosted matte finish, as it is a more natural finish, and this is a more radiant finish. So the Sychro Skin Self-Refreshing, as I said, natural finish, medium to full buildable coverage. It is a more medium in my opinion, but a high medium, but it really lasts well. I don't know how the technology works. Shiseido's really incredible at coming up with really innovative technologies that we haven't even heard of before or seen before, and I absolutely love that about them. They are a bit pricier, but they are typically, in my opinion, worth it. From majority of things I've tried from them, I do believe that they're incredible, and I do really think they're an underrated brand. So let's hope that this guy pulls through and we get the same experience. Here's the thing. I'm recording this on day 2 of filming. Typically when I do these foundation reviews, if you've watched them, you'll know, I do day 1, this whole spiel. I introduce the product, I show you my first impression, I show you how it applies, and then I go about my day, do the check-ins at the end of day, and then day 2, I typically check in after I've completed my makeup to show you what it looks like, and then do the wear test. So we're kind of doing it opposite today, because when I filmed this yesterday morning, my computer died, and so the audio stopped recording. I plugged it in hoping that it would be, still good, because it typically, I've had it happen before, and it typically is fine. It was gone. The audio was not saved. So I had already finished my makeup. So what I'm going to do is explain the product here on day 2, show you how it applies, and then I will show you day 1's wear test, and then show you today's wear test. I'm sorry if it's a little bit of a mix-up. I apologize. If you're interested in the Shiseido foundation, then keep on watching. So I am going to prime, and then I'll explain what this is all about while I'm priming. And I'm going to be using the Tatcha Silk Canvas. Day 1, I used the Hourglass. The Shiseido Radiant Lifting Foundation is supposed to be a medium to full buildable coverage foundation. It's supposed to be a radiant, luminous finish. It's supposed to have buildable coverage that features an innovative light adjusting technology that addresses the 3 major obstacles that impede radiance, which are fine lines and wrinkles, uneven skin tone, and loss of hydration. With a combination of transparent pearls, radiant microcrystals, and advanced optical filters that balance and adapt to any ambient lighting condition. We have an exclusive blend of humectants that bind moisture to the skin, which delivers 24-hour hydration. It's also infused with mandarin peel extract to help support the skin's radiance. And it is a weightless foundation that offers instant results with lasting luminosity. It comes in 30 shades, which is pretty decent. It is supposed to be water resistant, crease resistant, fade resistant, smudge resistant. If that's true, then we've got potentially a really beautiful foundation on our hands. It's also supposed to be non-comedogenic, which is great for us, combination to oily skin types who already produce a lot of oil. It is also oil free. Fingers crossed, not going to, clog our pores, make us more oily. If it's non-comedogenic, also not going to make you break out. So just to explain some of those ingredients that we probably, I don't know if you've heard of, but I definitely hadn't. Comes with light adjusting technology that's supposed to visibly lift, refine, and smooth with a luminous finish. Visibly lifting and smoothing, which sounds incredible. Obviously, this is going to definitely be more geared to normal to dry and mature skin types, but I'm definitely excited to see what it's like on my combo skin, because I do have sometimes my skin can look a little bit dehydrated. So I am excited to see how it performs on my skin as well. Radiant microcrystals that are supposed to correct shadows created by fine lines and wrinkles so that the skin appears smoother and firmer. So it's actually going to almost like, you know how wrinkles can sometimes create like a shadow? It's going to like correct that. So this like microcrystal is going to, I guess, like make that seem more blurred and like brightened. And then the transparent luminous pearls visibly counteract hyperpigmentation by creating an even canvas to optically reflect light. So if you have hyperpigmentation spots or sunspots or dark spots or age spots, it's supposed to actually like counteract that. So the pearls in it is going to lighten them basically. It has a diffusing matrix to accentuate contours and create visual depth for a natural 3-dimensional look. So it's supposed to really like affect the way that your skin and your face looks to make you look more youthful and radiant and give you 24-hour all-day comfort and hydration. So sounds incredible. So I'm going to go ahead and start applying. This is what it looks like on the skin. This is the shade Alabaster. It's the lightest shade, and this is just about the only thing from first impression that I had to say. I personally feel like it's maybe just a little bit too light for me. But when you look at the shades online and when you look at the swatches on the arms specifically, this shade looks like just about the only shade in the whole entire range that would even be close to me. So that's why I got it. I don't typically go for the very lightest shade, and it's really not that off, but I definitely feel like it's just a little, maybe half a shade too light. So I do bronze the skin up a little bit more, and it turns out okay. Like it's definitely usable. The next shade, the shade Ivory, it looks like way too dark for me, and I didn't like, there's a lot, it's very heavily like saturated in the light to medium range. The deep and dark range looks decent to me, looks very focused to light and medium skin tones. So it would have been nice to see maybe a more even range, some maybe more lighter tones. Or I could be wrong and it could just be a little misleading online. And I think maybe the picture isn't completely accurate. So that's either or. Just be careful when selecting a shade. So if you are darker than me, Alabaster is too light for you because it is a little bit too light for me. Okay, so this is what it looks like with one good layer on. It's definitely a medium coverage upon first layer. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a small second layer because I want just a touch more coverage. And it does, and I also want to show you that it does build pretty decently. But I did notice yesterday, and you will see this, I did notice a little bit of caking in the areas I put 2 layers. So it does build well, but I think you don't want to do like too heavy of layers if you're going to build it. Like, so I'm going pretty light with the second layer this time. So then that way it will hopefully prevent any caking. So that's what it looks like with 2 layers. It's definitely, in my opinion, a medium coverage foundation, but it can get, with a building, it can get to a very high medium. I just personally don't think it builds enough to get to that full without getting a tiny bit cakey in my personal experience. But I do think the coverage is great. It evened out my redness completely. It definitely blurred and or covered up all of my perfections. And the ones that it didn't, they are much more minimized and blurred. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of concealer under the eyes and spot conceal those blemishes. And then we will set it and then we'll go about the day and see how it lasts day 2. Okay, so this is what it looks like completely set. And I do have a little bit of bake under my eyes, but not too much. So this is what it looks like. It's actually, I do every single time I've tried this. That's why I got my velour puff out. I've tried doing the rest of my face with a puff, with a brush, with a sponge. And I do find it looks a little bit dry kind of when it's first set. It's not my favorite when it's first set, but when I use a little bit of setting spray, I do find it really like livens it up a bit. I don't know if it's because I'm using like baking powders, but I only baked under my eyes today. Like I just applied powder on the rest of my face. So I will say that I have experienced a little bit of trouble getting it to look perfectly smooth with powder, but I do find setting spray really, really helps that, which is something that's very common. Like some of my favorite foundations have done that, you know, I apply a powder and it just looks just a little powdery. And so I just apply a little bit of setting spray and it really helps. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like with just a little bit of setting spray. I'm going to use my Benefit Professional. So it looks a little bit less powdery, as you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and pop up day one's wear test so you can see what my experience was day one, and then you will see today's wear test. So I will see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, so I'm just outside and it's 10:30 now, but I finished my makeup at about 10 o'clock. This is what it's looking like, really, really nice. And it's definitely looking not that radiant right now because I do use a lot of powder when I bake, but I'm hoping that we'll get some of that natural glow back once my oils start to poke through without looking greasy. So I will update you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, so this is check-in number 2. This is almost 3:30, so it's been almost 5 hours. I only have a couple comments. It's creasing a little bit on my nose and it's like breaking apart on my chin. I'm wondering if it's because things are not layering, like I put a full coverage concealer on top. So I'm wondering if day 2, I'm going to avoid putting too much concealer in areas except for under my eyes, because under my eyes are looking totally fine. It's just around my nose and on my chin and lip, which is my typical like troubling areas. It's usually if something's gonna get cakey or break apart, it's there. Yeah, not perfect so far, but the rest of the face is looking so smooth, so good. I'm really, really impressed. And I don't know if you guys can see, like when I move my face, do you see like the light reflecting off of my forehead? But not in like a greasy way. It doesn't even look like I really have a shine. It just looks like I'm like doused in highlighter, like in the best possible way. Like my skin's just glowing. So I really notice the radiant effect of this foundation. So even 5 hours, I don't have any shine. Like none has transferred onto my finger. Well, like maybe like the tiniest little bit. Down here, we're not looking so hot. Hoping, fingers crossed, it'll last like at least 10 hours without breaking apart completely. Like if the rest of the face doesn't look too oily, this I think is gonna be such an incredible flattering foundation. And I think it would be really, really good for normal to dry and mature skin types as well, because it is very, very flattering. Hey guys, so it is end of day 1, testing the Shiseido foundation. So this is what we're looking like. It's 8:30, so it has been like 2 minutes past 10 hours. On my chin and on my lip, it looks so bad. Now my lip liner is still there and completely faded, so I'm looking like just a hot mess. So I mentioned in my check-in that we were looking real rough on my lip and on my chin, and we're looking worse now. So definitely not super impressed with the way it's breaking down. I'm really happy about the way that my forehead is looking. Yes, it looks a little bit greasy, just slightly like in between the brows, but for 10 hours with a hydrating foundation, that is pretty good. So I'm pretty impressed with the overall appearance of this, but lip, chin, and beside the nose, not so impressed. I need to test minimal concealer in this area here and just focus on under the eyes and do just very small spot concealing in areas that I feel need it and see if that helps. And then if it doesn't help, then obviously it was the foundation. But if it does help, then I think maybe it would just be the fact that there was too much product. And because it was radiant finish and there were some oils poking through, that's why it got cakey. So I definitely will be doing day 2, and I will let you guys know how that goes. Do I notice a difference by tweaking that? That's why I like to do day 2. I can tweak the things that I think may be causing the issues and see if we can get the product to work even better. And then that helps me figure out my final review and be more confident in my opinion on the product. So hopefully day 2, we have a bit of a better experience in terms of wear in that area. So yeah, I will come back tomorrow and do a day 2 and we will see how it goes. So, hey guys, so it is 2:30 right now. It's 5 hours since I finished my makeup. Couple comments. It's not transfer proof or resistant. It definitely transfers, and I don't know if it's because I am combo skin type that it's slightly dewy, like slightly oily. It's not really greasy. It does look nice. It does have that more radiant finish, as you can see. Like as I'm moving around, you see that incredible glow, and it really is extremely flattering, extremely beautiful. So I typically am not one to love like my forehead to look shiny, my chin to look shiny. I usually only want like here to look shiny in my nose, you know, where you would apply highlight. But there's something about the way that this gives off a glow. It's not greasy, it's not oily, it doesn't look shiny, it just looks like stunning. So as you can see, then you get up close and it doesn't look as nice. So you can see on my chin, it's just settling into the texture on my skin, and it's not sitting as nicely on my skin as I would hope. This foundation isn't the most like smooth on the skin. Like as you can see, it's kind of starting to settle into the sides of my nose and on my chins, looking not too hot. And I didn't even really apply much concealer. It's only been 5 hours and it's already kind of breaking down. I don't think it's like, as I said, the longest wearing in my opinion. It is 8:43 and I finished my makeup at 9:30. So it has been just over 11 hours since I finished my base makeup. Not loving this at all. Just want to remove this instant. I almost stopped at 10 hours because I just really wanted to take it off. Yeah, I'm going to show you what this is looking like up close because it has not held up whatsoever. As you can see on the sides of my nose, it's completely worn down and creased really badly. It's gotten cakey all across my lip, all across my chin, and even actually like down here a little bit. Basically just cakey everywhere. And I didn't even apply that much. I applied 2 layers, but I did apply a thinner second layer than the first day. So definitely like I apply more than that for a lot of foundations and they look not like this. It's completely gone patchy on my chin. So what I think the issues are is number one, I have combination skin. So if you are combo to oily, I honestly don't recommend this foundation unless you like a radiant finish foundation and you are only looking for a foundation that will last. Like if you are okay with it only wearing for like less than not even 8 hours without breaking down. Like by the 8-hour mark, it was definitely starting to break down. The other thing I would really like to try this because it does have, I do have to say, despite all of the negatives I have to say about it, this light like lifting reflection technology they have going on, you can notice it, and it is a extremely flawless foundation. Like it does have that dew, that glow to it. Like when you move your face, you can see it, the light beams off of your face, and it does give you a very healthy, glowy, like complexion. So I have to say it is beautiful, but it just is not long wearing, at least on my combination skin. I can't speak for people with dry skin. It didn't even go on as smooth as I would have liked. So one thing I would like to try this with is with one of my favorite like long wearing foundations, specifically maybe a matte one that's going to hold up to my oils, and see if maybe I can still get use out of it. I'm definitely like, do you see fingerprints? Like I feel like I haven't been able to touch my face. Like my son threw a pillow at my face like not even half an hour ago, and I was literally scared it wiped the whole makeup off because I just felt like in the last couple hours I'm like, don't touch me, I can't touch my face. Because you know when you get oily and you just feel like greasy and then you feel like it's gonna like come off. And this one is not transfer resistant. I even noticed like right after I did my makeup, I had been resting my hand on my face and there was like a mark there. So it kind of transferred onto my hand a little bit. I was able to fix it with just a bit of powder. It kind of like just blended it out. It wasn't noticeable enough that like it ruined it, but it definitely transfers. Don't think it's necessarily a great recommendation for combination oily skin types. As I said, normal to dry or mature skin. It may be better for you, but I do have to say, just beware, it's a pricey purchase and it didn't even look that smooth on the skin upon application. I definitely felt like it looked smoother as my oil started to poke through, but then as my oil started to poke through, it started to break down. So unfortunately, it's not my favorite. I will update you guys on this one in my monthly favorites and flops at the end of April. If you aren't subscribed, I recommend you subscribe so that you don't miss it. Unfortunately, and this one makes me really sad, unfortunately, it's not the best. It definitely is not my favorite. And you know what? I had very high hopes for this, very high, because I absolutely love the Sychro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation, an incredible one. If you're looking for something from Shiseido and you're wanting a foundation, I wouldn't recommend this this one, I would try the Self Refreshing. I promise you, you will enjoy it much better than this. If you guys missed any of my foundation reviews, this is the last one I've reviewed from the 5 that I got. If you missed any of them, I will link them below, and I also will link the haul. And then also, I'm going to be doing a ranking video very soon. I just need a little bit more time to test these a little bit more. I want to be really confident in saying this was my favorite because, then this one because. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Unfortunately, this one didn't turn out as well as I would have liked it to, but that's okay. That's why I'm here, so that you guys don't have to go through purchasing and products failing on you. So yeah, definitely wouldn't be my first foundation choice. I'm gonna link some foundations that I enjoy below in case you are looking for some foundation recommendations. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.